is up, faithful? Welcome to the East Coast Red and Gold podcast. I'm Niners Jess, along with Ty Alston, Maddie B,
Yo,
and
yo.
Niner Lady Dina. What's going on, faithful?
Nothing much. How you
Not
doing tonight?
much.
Good. It is Wednesday, May 21st, and
It
another
sure
rainy
is.
Wednesday.
Do you
Yeah.
know where your starting quarterback is? Oh, wait, we do for
We do.
once, right?
Like the drama is over.
Do you remember, you guys
There
remember
wasn't
those
any drama.
commercials? It would be like 10 o'clock at night when we were growing up, and it would be
Oh, yeah.
like, hey, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? And it's like,
Mhm.
oh, yeah, back in the olden days before they could just check your location.
Yeah.
We know where our quarterback is, right? Like, we know where he is. He is under center for the next 5 years at least on what looks to be, on breakdown, a pretty team-friendly deal in the year of our whatever 2025 for quarterbacks.
Yeah.
It's what they do.
Yeah,
Nah,
so
it's
first,
easy.
before we get to all that, I would like to introduce to everybody. We got Niner Lady Dina. Becca can no longer be on the show because life happens, but we appreciate her, and we'll definitely keep in touch, and we wish her the best. And
Indeed.
I'm sure we'll see her at games this year. But yeah, so Dina, I just, I always start, when we first started off the show, we went around saying how we became fans of the 49ers. So how did you become a fan of the 49ers?
By watching Joe Montana play with Notre Dame. And I fell in love
There you go.
that arm. And just followed his career when I was like 15. And since I was too young to marry him, I figured I might as well just watch him on TV. So that's
Not bad. Where's your?
Uh-oh.
Dude, I am literally wearing the Iron Fred Warner shirt.
ooh.
But he asked where your
Lord.
jersey is.
Where's it? Fred didn't send it yet. So we're working on that. You know, he's a busy man. He's just got a contract to sign. Priorities. I
Yeah,
told
he's
him,
a
send the
daddy.
contract first, then you can send me the jersey. Priorities.
Wait, you're getting a jersey from Fred Warner?
That's neither here nor there. Back to Dina and how she's following Joe Montana. See,
All
we
right,
get
so
sidetracked on the show. We got to stay focused.
when this jersey arrives, that's when we're going to want the story. Okay?
Okay.
Like that's
Yep.
we're going to want that story.
You
we
got
can-
it,
we can-
Morning Glory.
We can pocket that for the off season because God knows there's going to be some times where we'll probably need that. Okay?
Yes.
So,
Yeah, that's true. All right. So this is the first time we're talking about this since it happened on Friday. Brock Purdy had his press conference today. He signed through the 2030 season, 5 years, $265 million. He's still the sixth highest paid quarterback on that list. And still people freak out.
Yeah.
He reportedly asked for $65 million. His agent obviously went high. Duh. It's a negotiation. What are you guys' thoughts on the contract? Go ahead, Dina.
I think it's a great one. I'm glad that he signed. I was shocked, pleasurably shocked, that he actually got that amount. I didn't think it was going to be that high, but when I first heard it, I'm like, are we talking about the same one, same person? But yeah, I'm glad because now maybe it'll shut some of the naysayers up because he already proved to us who he is. And if everybody out there in a league is getting somewhat comparable to this, but starting out, I think it's a great contract. And I understand it's for 6 years now.
He signed through 2030, I believe.
Yeah.
it's a 5-year deal, but basically it's 5 years that starts next year, but this
Okay.
year's base salary is different now because now he gets a signing bonus is really what it boils down to. Like
Yeah.
they didn't tear up like the last year of his rookie deal didn't go away
No.
It just gets
Yeah.
altered now because they've attached another deal that starts next year with it.
So you said his rookie deal has been altered. Because
Yeah, not the rookie deal so much, but the rookie deal salary cap. It's a real like, yeah. But basically, he was due to be counting like 5.57 million on the cap this year,
okay.
because that was going to be his base salary. His base salary is now like $1.155 million, but
Yeah.
they also give him like a giant signing bonus this year, right? So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
assume that I think with the way that's going to work is it's going to raise his cap a little bit, or maybe it just drops it like a little bit, like a million, even if it does based on that. Like there's some sort of weird math there, and there's math. And did I mention there's math because it's not really
Oh,
something
no,
I'm
not
into.
math.
Have
But
one carry
basically, the
two.
5-year 265 that was the first thing that was reported. That
Yeah.
was starting next year, as Ty just said, all the way through to 2030.
30. Right.
So,
Okay.
yep.
Yeah, I still think it's a great deal, and I'm so glad that he did it. And now we can go in and hopefully play ball, get in condition, and get ready.
So Steve-O said, so if it starts next year, then his no trade clause doesn't kick in, so he can still be traded this year.
I was hoping he wouldn't bring that up.
I mean, technically, but fun fact, there's no way that's going to happen because then the salary cap hits are just ginormous. So that ain't happening.
Yeah.
I think it's like
That's-
I think it's like a third of the gross national product of Malaysia at that point. So like I don't believe that's going to be something they're going to be doing there, Steve. And like it looks like they're going to be able to like kind of go back to it like year after year as well, with option bonuses and health bonuses. Like there's protections for him and protections for them in there. Like in this day and age, it's as close to a win-win as you're really going to get, right? So clearly he was motivated to get this deal done, and clearly they were motivated to get this deal done with him. And they didn't even have to do the whole, hey, why don't you check the market and see what the market's going to bear for you, right? He figured it out.
Yeah.
And he didn't ask for more than Tua, which is key to me, right?
Mhm.
Like, because to me, he's way more durable than Tua. And
Yes.
like, oh, well, his elbow and blah. I'm like, okay, how about his concussions? How are those? Oh, okay. Just the one against Minnesota that they seem to let him play with the next week. But other than that, like, you know,
So you think it's a good deal?
I really do. This was like, I was stunned. They typically like these things drag out. Like I didn't think Brock would be like very dramatic, but I figured the team would just like make it painful because that's what they always do. And this year they didn't. And this was the one that was really like balls to the wall, right? Like I really wanted to see this one get done before OTAs, because if it had lingered into OTAs, like what the Cowboys are doing right now with Micah Parsons, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the story going to be all through OTAs? When's Brock Purdy signs deal? When Brock Purdy signs deal? Instead, before OTAs, they got not only get him done, they also get Fred Warner done, right? Bam, bam, done. It's like, whoa, well, that's it. The pillars are complete at this point, right? And if they decide to do something with Jawan Jennings later on, like, yay us. So, like, it looks like they've got all their ducks in a row, and it looks like, knock on all the things that you can knock on, like this team is actually going to be able to come into camp this year and focus on, get this,
That's right.
Say what?
yeah, right? Like, shh, don't say it too loud, it might run away, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I feel like we these past few years it's been all about contracts, which it kind of has been. Ty, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, good contract. We knew we discussed it on the show. The market range was between 50 and 55. We knew he was going to fall in between there. He did. You know, it ain't rocket science. So I just love the fact that the most important thing, he's with us for the foreseeable future, right? We found our guy, we addressed it, he's locked up until 2030. Boom, we ain't got nothing to worry about. No worries. You always want your quarterback position solidified. It's been a long time coming.
Too
we
long.
thought we had it. We thought we had it previously.
Mhm.
That didn't work out. Here we are. We've got, a little over 2 years of growth in footage that we have under our belts and we feel good about. And we know, all right, this is the positive direction that we need to go in. And boom,
Mhm.
we're going there. So we're good. So I think it was a great deal. Great for both parties. Like you said, there's protections on both sides. And that's what Parag and those guys always draw up. They make sure the team is okay and the player is okay. We can move on amicably if needed. So another great deal. Just love it. Can't say enough about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely good for both sides. Brock's a team first guy, which is what I got out of his press conference today. Making sure that there's a team around him.
Yeah.
Which I think is important. Going back to the no trade clause, only 8 quarterbacks in the NFL have that in their contracts.
Wow.
Dre Area Sports says he's not getting traded. They'll restructure his contract before the last year of his deal. That way they don't get hit with a massive amount of guaranteed money.
Yeah, that's what they do with all these big quarterback contracts. Dre Area says last year, before the last 2 years of that deal, before the big cap numbers really hit, they'll restructure to lower that cap, extend him for another 3-4 years, play the cap manipulation game, and we'll just be riding. We're good.
Mm-hmm.
McNider wants to know what the reporters are going to talk about now.
If he's living up to that contract or not.
Yeah, that'll be it.
Mm-hmm.
Is he really worth it? He has to prove it. All that garbage,
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's not necessarily like the beat
Is
writers.
he putting his thing down, flipping it, and reversing it? Yes, understood.
That's right.
Yes, correct. Yes.
It's not necessarily like the beat writers like Mayoko, Barrows,
Yeah.
Barty. It's more like Grant
The others.
and the others.
And
Why
the
don't you
others.
say the others?
The
Why don't
loud
you say
ones.
the others? Okay, like if you give him any sort of free advertising.
Yeah, that's true.
Free
That's true.
advertising.
Yeah,
Just
right.
from now
the
on,
others.
it's the others.
The others.
the
Yes.
dissenting voices in the room, right?
Mhm.
Like, that's really what it boils down to. And
Mhm.
those are the guys that and whoever and however, like that just, people are just turds and punch bowls, man. Like,
Yeah.
we
True.
live in a world right now where you get attention if you're more angry and
Right.
edgy
Yeah.
and all. Yeah, well, the way I look at it is, like I don't know what you want. Like, yeah, they certainly got lucky with Brock Purdy. Congratulations, right? Like, that's pretty much how it works at the quarterback position. Like, I mean, how many teams have taken first round shots at guys and just not gotten it right? How many of the
Mhm.
same teams in the NBA end up in the draft lottery every damn year? And they're getting the best of the best every year, allegedly, right?
Allegedly.
Some teams just don't know what the hell they're doing.
Exactly.
Sometimes things don't work out. Look at all the stuff with the Bears last year.
Oh,
Your
my
number
goodness.
one overall pick doesn't have somebody in the room watching film with him. What? Stop it. Get help. Like, what is happening here? Like, no wonder they went through a 48-man search committee. But the question is, why do you waste a year of that guy's career doing that stuff, right? Like, you can't just be flip-flopping through offensive coordinators. Look at a guy like Trevor Lawrence. He's kind of stuck in neutral. Like, year
Pretty
one was
much.
a waste. Year
Yeah.
two, it looked like he took a jump, and then he's been stuck in neutral ever since.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we're lucky to have who we've got.
Yeah, I think with Trevor Lawrence, I think this is his last go around with the Jaguars. We'll see what he does.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that coach got to get him right. He's got to, solidify that and get right. Screw outside teams. We 49er fans. Alex Smith was not that long ago.
No.
We remember Alex fondly. Well, his first 5 or 6 years, it was a different offensive coordinator every year. We can't grow like that.
No.
It's just impossible. There's no continuity.
And it's hard for the quarterback to follow exactly just what to do.
Mhm.
You know, you keep changing, rotating staff like that. Well, who do you listen to?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
well,
then
you saw how that worked out for the defense the last couple of years, right?
Yes. Never mind.
In the booth, out of the booth, it didn't matter. He could have been in a barrel naked like that fan from the Broncos back in the olden days. Nobody would have given a damn anyway. It wouldn't have made a difference. They still couldn't have stopped the run.
So Dre Area Sports said that some heads are pushing the narrative that they could trade him before the 2028 season. Oh,
Sure,
Lord.
they could probably package him with Kyle for like a hell of a set of draft picks if a expansion team comes along that wants to do that or some other ridiculousness. Stop it. Like they're so like they need help. They need so much help. They're looking for storm trouble on the horizon that hasn't even arrived yet, right? Like get out of here.
Yeah.
So Brock's cap hit is $8.5 million for 2025.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
I
solid
thought it was
because it was going to be 5.75. So they're
And
still
the-
carrying over 40 million into next
just
year
went up a
too, if
little
I
bit. Yeah.
read correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the cap's going to go up 5.5% over the next 2 years.
Mhm.
We're fine.
That's going to be a lower end deal in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Like it's a middle of the pack deal now, really, when you really look at the real numbers with it and the actual cash flow and everything.
Yeah.
Like, and whenever they need to sign somebody now, there's no excuse. Like basically, anytime they need extra money to go get somebody, if they decide to go full Rams at some point, right?
Mhm.
They go full FTP. They can be like, Dear Bank of Brock, we need 25 to 30 million in the salary cap this year. Okay. Let's convert that to a cash bonus, baby. Cha-ching. Like that's it. Like, and that's how it can work moving forward. And that's how all of these franchises that are set up for long-term success usually do these things. So,
Mhm.
and he didn't take the top of the market deal. He didn't take that
No.
top Kirk Cousins deal, right? Like he didn't
Right.
have to be the highest paid guy. Like he didn't even have to be ahead of Trevor Lawrence and Tua and that stuff, right? Like that's pretty solid.
Dre Area says he's the 14th highest paid quarterback based on the percentage of cap. That tells you all you need to know.
Tells you it's a good deal. And it's a
I hope he
team-friendly deal.
relaxes. I just hope he relaxes a little bit now. I hope the pressure's off him. Like now that he's got it, I hope he doesn't do the thing where he's like, I've got to do more to live up to that. No, we need you to continue to be Brock Purdy. and
Continue to
ascend
grow.
at the rate that you were going. Right. Like we don't need you to
Yeah,
take on the world.
I think he'll be fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not
He had said that he was even watching his rookie film, as far as like, footwork and stuff like that. So he's really, as far as like work goes, like work ethic, like he's on it. And just getting this contract out of the way is just perfect.
Yeah. I like it.
Go ahead, Dina.
No, I really like it. And I think it's a chance. He doesn't have to prove anything anymore. He just has to develop and grow and do him.
Mhm.
We know who and do.
Oh, she froze on us.
Uh-oh.
Hey,
You're freezing a little bit.
It wouldn't be a first night with us, like if
Exactly.
somebody
Welcome.
wasn't having a
Nah.
thing. So
Yeah,
it's all good,
Yeah.
right?
No, I was saying that let him thrive. Let him be him. He doesn't have to prove anything anymore.
He never did in my eyes. Like, dude, when you get a team to, NFC Championships game, Super Bowl, what is left to prove?
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
what is there left to prove?
Nothing.
When you get on the field and you just ball out, there's nothing left to prove.
Right.
Right. There's always that, and that's part of the narrative with him. There's always something, right? Can he do this? And then he does it. And then it's like, well, can he do this? Like that goalpost just always moves. They always move it.
And you
it's
know
like-
what? And some people push back and say, but he didn't win it.
That's another thing, but he didn't
Okay.
win it.
He didn't
Yep,
win it, but he got there.
And that's all I was just about to say. There's 30 other quarterbacks who didn't even get there. Right?
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
And have had multiple chances, right? Looking at
mhm.
you, Josh Allen, right? Like, we talk about how great that dude is. He still
Yeah.
hasn't taken a snap in a Super Bowl yet,
Yeah.
right? He still hasn't held up a conference championship trophy in front of his home fans or even in front of road fans.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's just one of those things, man. Like he fits. He fits like a glove. He was supposed to be here. You know, it worked out.
Yeah. Thank God for that.
Yeah. So, all right. Moving on to Fred Warner. 3 years, 63 million. LB1. Awesome. So glad that they got this done. He did have 2 years left on his contract, but the cap hits for this year and next year would have been close to $30 million.
Wow.
Yep. That's
So
gonna save a bunch of money.
Yeah.
yes, definitely. So your thoughts, Ty, on the Fred Warner extension?
Yeah. Another good deal. You know, he was going to get extended either this year or next, right? You know, of all the players on the team, like it's him and George weren't going anywhere. Nowhere. Period. Right? And I know people want to talk about the highest paid and all that. Yeah, he was getting money and either way.
Right.
Like, he's the best. There's no debate. He's the best. When you ask around, go, who's the best linebacker? Oh, this guy. Him. Period. So another good deal. Makes sense financially to get it done. Locks it up. Like, we ain't got to worry about it. The core is intact.
I'm just glad it was done now and not dragged out.
Well, define dragged out because it's 2 years. Yeah, 2 years
Dragged
left on
out
this deal. There was no need to do a deal right now. This is a
Dragged
good
out
faith
into
thing.
camp, into OTAs.
But he
and all-
still had 2 solid years left on the deal. This is what I'm saying. There
Yeah,
was
but
really
they could have been like going back and forth, like negotiating and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like starting talks and, you know, and sometimes that kind of throws a wrench into things as we've seen, you know, with the contract talks.
All right.
Maddie, what do you think?
Their biggest issue with him this year was going to be his cap number, right? Like that was really the biggest issue. So that's why I think there was an impetus to get this done. Like it doesn't change the season, but it's one less thing. Like what
It's a
was the thing
financial deal.
Yeah, what was the thing, and also like frankly, like a little bit of a reward for, hey, thank you so much for playing last year on one leg. We really appreciate that. Even though the rest of the team played like they had, you know, less than yours. But here we are. But like it worked out. Like that was kind of more the impetus for that. Like, and it kind of gives it that whole, you know, he's going to finish his career here too, sort of deal, right? Like the way it should be.
He's
Like
2030.
you want your pillars all signed, right? And now you got
Yeah. Yeah.
it all started, you know, Nick Bosa was signed year before last, right? I'm sure he'll be getting some sort of rework or extension done, maybe during the year, towards the end of it, or maybe beginning next offseason just to free up some cap room because I bet his cap number is going to be getting into the place where they want to do something with it for next year.
They
That's
gotta do
another
it
one.
next year.
Yeah. So that's going to be my guess. I think you'll be seeing him getting redone soon. But he's one of the pillars, right? And then you got Fred Warner, you get Amador Lenore, and then Christian McCaffrey still for a running back. He's still on a pretty good deal, and you know, like Kittle signed, Purdy signed.
Demo
Everybody's where it's
Lenore
at.
is signed.
Yeah, I mentioned him like he was already there. Like I'd start on the defense first, and then I moved over to the
Yeah.
offense. But yeah, and Trent Williams was, you know, redone last year too. So, um, all the tent poles are here, right?
Mhm.
Like all the
Exactly.
tent poles are in the place. So
Exactly.
Dina, thoughts on Fred Warner?
Love him. I'm glad. I am. I'm surprised again that it was done as quick as it was done, and it was handled very smoothly. I was a little shocked at the number at first, but then after I thought about it and I looked at the way that the deal was structured, I think he got a good break. I really do. I really like it. I thought that maybe they might push for, the 70, 75, looking at other markets and saying, well, this guy's getting this. No, I'm so glad that it was so smoothly done and everybody's happy. He's back he's back. He's not going anywhere. And now let's see what we can do in that position. And wait a minute. The other thing that concerned me was him being in that position. Who do we have to help him in that position? Like a yin and a yang. We had that with Greenlaw for a while.
Right.
So who's going to be the other person to help him out in that? The other thing that can.
Well, they do have high hopes for Nick Martin, who they just drafted.
Yeah, he looks good. It looks good. Now, I was thinking about this. I always think about stupid stuff while I'm brushing my teeth. But I was thinking.
And she froze on that note.
Okay, see? Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, I was brushing my teeth and I thought about this. If we have someone like a mirror version of a Fred Warner on the other side, how awesome would that line be? And we don't have to worry if everybody stays, does what they're supposed to do, and keeps that speed. Fred Warner has speed.
Mm-hmm.
And no one can take that away from him. And that's what makes him so remarkable in that position. How he flew from one end of the field to the other. No one expected him to run over there and just, maul the guy on the sideline. But he did. So if we have someone mirror that image, that same persona, we're going to be unstoppable in that. I can see it. And like I said, I thought about it while I'm brushing my teeth and I'm like, oh, we got this. Oh my God, Fred Warner's going to do it. We found a mirror image. Yes.
Whenever you talk about brushing your teeth, you freeze.
I know. All right. So I'm supposed to walk around with cavities?
I think we need a dentist sponsor. I think that's what that means. Sponsored by,
Actually,
Blink Dental.
Speaking of that, we are brought to you by Faithful Gear. Get your customized Niners gear at faithfulgear209.com. Tell Robert that we sent you. Again, it's faithfulgear209.com. All right, so let's revisit the trade that ultimately led to us selecting Fred Warner. The Chicago Bears got the number 2 overall and selected Mitch Trubisky. We received the number 3 overall. We selected Solomon Thomas. The number 67 overall, which we traded again. Number 111 overall, traded again. And then the 3rd round pick in 2018, Fred Warner.
That's a lot of trading back. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And then obviously the 49ers extensions in the last month, Purdy, Warner, Kittle. Purdy, last pick in the draft, Warner, 3rd round pick, Kittle, 5th round pick.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Say it
And
all
then
the
look
time,
at the money they saved on the initial contracts before they could even sign them to those extensions, right? Like you
Yeah.
want to be able to be in a position to sign those guys to extensions, but you typically feel like you're going to have to be in the 1st round or 2nd round to do so. In this case, you didn't have to. So they got some really good cost controlled savings, which allowed them to spend money in other places.
Yeah. Thank
Sometimes
goodness.
it worked, sometimes it didn't.
So I've seen a lot of comments that yes, we signed Purdy, but the offensive line is still the same. What are your thoughts about that little comment?
Is Trent Williams healthy this year,
Is it-
or is Trent Williams injured again? Because if Trent Williams is healthy, this offensive line is completely different. If Trent Williams is not healthy, we're
It's
going to
the
have the same issues that we have every year that Trent Williams is not healthy. So yes, that is very rocket science stuff out there by some of these football PhD heads.
Yeah. Is
Yeah,
Brendel still there?
Yeah,
So
Brendel's
Brendel's still there.
him
Same
and
Jake
Purdy were
Brendel.
actually golfing together the other day.
Yep.
Hope he golfed better than he. Never mind.
That's the same Jake Brendel that helped us reach the Super Bowl a year prior.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same, pretty much the same offensive line that helped us reach the Super Bowl prior. You know, no one really had a problem with the offensive line that year until the last play of the Super Bowl.
Now Brendel just makes
Funny
me
how that
nervous.
works out. Yes, the offensive line had an up and down year last year, but the entire team did.
Yeah.
So let's wish them a bounce back, like the same way we're wishing everyone else a bounce back. I think we'll be fine.
Dina, thoughts?
Certainly hope so. Yeah. I'm hoping that and move on. And I think we're going to have a dynamite line. I really do. With what we have acquired and the guys have stepped up, I am looking forward to being able to watch the games and not do this. Or have my mouth open like but the way things look now, I'm going to enjoy it.
Are the 2025
Watching.
Niners being overlooked?
Yes, and let's keep it that way, please.
Yeah. Let them overlook us. You most certainly are.
I mean,
just
that-
based on last year. And like, oh, Debo left and Dre Greenlaw left and Huff left. Oh, look, they lost 13 players. Okay.
Yeah. And it's like, and
Yeah, and
Did you watch them play last year by any chance?
yeah.
do you know Dre Greenlaw played a half a game last year? You do realize that, right?
Literally played half a game last year.
Yeah. I had a
Like,
friend of mine
we're
tell me
used to
about
playing
that.
without him.
Yeah, I said, "Oh, you guys are done. Greenlaw's gone. Debo's gone. He left you for the East Coast. You're done." And I said,
Did you
Says
watch
you.
Debo last year?
"Says you." I said, "Did you see Debo play last time?"
Yeah,
How
He
many-
got replaced during the season.
How many injuries did Talanoa Hufanga have last year that he was playing through? Right? Like, oh, he's back and healthy. Oh no, he's injured again. Oh yeah, he's injured again.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
he had the All Pro year in 2022, and ever since then it's been like, hello, welcome back to Injuryville.
Injury.
Like just how it's been. Like
I've had
I'm so
Giants
psyched.
fans in work just come up and say, "Wow, you like lost half your team," and I just laugh.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
do you pay attention to any other teams in the league? Like
You know what it is. Like first of all, like being in work, I like my office is not like plain. I have my Niner stuff in there, so it's like
Uh-huh.
I'm a walking
Well
conversation.
represented. That's right.
Yeah.
you're
Like all the time. So whoever walks by, there's
You're the
always
49ers embassy of Jersey. Yes, we
Yes.
understand.
Yes.
yes. So whoever walks by, there's always a conversation, but
Yeah.
it's always sometimes it's a conversation that's like it's like you scratch your head, like really, like are we
Mhm.
watching the same the same league? Are we watching the same games? I don't know.
No,
No, they aren't. They aren't.
no,
Yeah,
no.
that's part of the problem. They're not watching.
No.
They're not
Mhm.
paying
No.
attention.
They
They're just
just
seeing
they
a
see the,
headline.
see the number
Yeah.
of players that left, and it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, they just see that headline and they're like, "Ooh, they're in trouble."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like we lost one starter in Aaron Banks who played the most games, and he didn't even finish the season.
Whoop-de-doo.
So what did we lose? What
And
did
it
we
took them
lose?
2 years to get him ready to play because he basically stood on the sidelines watching
1
his
year.
entire rookie year, right?
Yeah.
Like he had
Mm.
Yeah.
he had the whole redshirt year one, and then
Yeah.
boom, comes in year two, finally. It's like, oh hey, looking pretty decent, right? But
Right.
Well, we lost
No,
swing tackle Jalen Moore.
Yeah.
Ooh,
to an insane deal though, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I didn't understand that one.
That was- there was no way they were going to match that. And I don't understand the denial process that 49ers fans have about this offensive line. Like I really need you to get it through your heads. Unless it's like a Trent Williams-y type, they're not going to break the bank for these guys. Mike
No.
McGlinchey, Lakin, Tomlinson. Stop me if you've heard any of Jalen Moore. Like it doesn't stop. It's just the churn's going to come out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
Colton
no.
McKivitz will probably be out the door next
Colton
year.
McKivitz is next. You can
Yeah.
guarantee it. You can set your watch by it if you want to.
No, that's all right.
You know?
Yeah.
Spencer Burford will probably
Burford.
get a big deal next year, right? From somebody. Somebody's going to
Somebody-
give him a huge deal, like a Houston or a Green Bay
Mhm.
or
Oh, somebody's
You know.
watching him. Yeah, somebody's
yeah,
watching
because
him.
he's going to fit in their
Just-
system perfectly, and they're going to think that they can get the most out of him. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, 100%. You can just go ahead and see that now too. So
Yeah. You didn't think anyone was watching Jalen Moore, then here comes Kansas City.
yeah, Kansas City out of the blue, and
Right.
they didn't just like throw him a roll of nickels. Like they
No.
brought a bag of
Bag.
money, right?
Yeah.
A big sack of cash.
Yeah.
Like,
And
They
they
were
were
like,
like,
oh.
hey,
My friend.
yeah, feel my sack, right?
Yeah.
That's really what
The
it
much,
boiled
the
down
much
to.
coveted Jalen Moore.
And
Oh my
that's
gosh.
and then all of a sudden he's the answer to their offensive line,
Yeah.
right? Like it was
If you
ridiculous.
just tuned in, we are talking about money.
Yeah, sack of money.
Yeah.
Like
Put a
I don't
pause
know. I
on
don't know
that.
what you want here.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand. So confused.
All right. So speaking of offensive line, Dante Whitner went on the Up and Adams show with Kay Adams and pretty much said that our Super Bowl window is closing because of the offensive line.
Hmm.
What are your thoughts on our Super Bowl window and his comments, Dina?
His comments made no sense to me whatsoever. I think he was just talking from another part of his body. Because again, if you don't know what to say, you say dumb stuff. And clearly, when I listened to what he was saying, I'm like, you're not making sense. And why are you being such a negative Nancy on the whole situation? I don't get it. You know, it's like you want us to fail. You want us to go out riding in the sunset. It's not going to happen. So don't, I'm tired of that mindset of people just like, oh, they're not going anywhere. Their window is closing. They haven't won a Super Bowl in 30 years. And, they can't get anybody. Other guys are young. They don't know anything. They got to learn. How long is it going to take them to learn? Shut up. You know, my motto this year is MIMS, making sense. And
Mhm.
you're not making sense. You know, yak, 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 Pac-Man, take your behind a
Amen to that.
Yeah.
negative attitude. You know, they're looking for a downfall.
Yep.
You know, and I want to stand there with my gold pom poms and say, "You're wrong."
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with Dina. I disagreed with everything he said. I think that's part of that same old narrative. Oh, they didn't address offensive line, blah, blah, blah. That's what camp is for. Let's not forget that.
Hello.
And we got fresh bodies that's going to be battling for those interior positions.
Right.
We know left guard, there's a competition, and there's quiet as kept, there's a competition at center too. And if someone steps up and can play right tackle, hello. Like there's fresh young bodies there that are experienced at these positions that are going to be competing for the starting job.
Yes.
So even though we look at, we're saying, this guy's the incumbent, he may start, blah, 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 right now, at the end of camp, that could be shuffled completely.
Yeah.
It can be completely different. And, am I not charging up? What is going on? About to lose power.
Not you.
And as Matt says, Trent Williams being back makes all the difference. That makes the whole line better.
Yep.
So we can't lose fact of that. And like last year, 3 different guys started at left tackle. I think 4 guys, different guys started at left guard. Yeah, there was inconsistency, but that's not the norm.
No,
That's not who we are. It's just last year was just a weird year. Let's not act like, that's what we always do. So we'll be fine.
I know.
And why am I not charging up?
Maddie, what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, typically most years we start quarterbacks with working hands, right? So that's usually the first step that we do in every game. But we decided not to last year. We decided that Brandon Allen was okay against the Packers. Remember, never forget.
Yeah.
But also, right, it's just that's how it is with the offensive line, right? They brought in competition this year, and for folks that remember how things were in the National Football League when Mike Shanahan was running the Denver Broncos, they didn't go out spending a whole ton of money on their offensive line there either. A lot of those guys came from late round undrafted situations. I'm talking double digit rounds, right? 11th round, 12th round, back when they had those rounds.
Yeah.
And those guys came out of nowhere to learn these schemes and play well. So that's not what they believe in. They don't believe in spending a ton of money on an offensive lineman. Trent Williams was special. And Trent Williams wasn't the number 1 overall pick of the draft. You know what I mean? That's another guy that they got him from Washington. They got him out of a rough situation, and they brought him back, right? And Trent has been very happy with how he was treated by this organization and continues to come back. So, and makes a difference, right? There's not a lot of offensive linemen that get talked about. Trent Williams gets talked about as much as anybody else on the San Francisco 49ers. And you don't have that with a lot of offensive linemen. So.
No.
Usually when you're talking about them, it's because they did something horrific, right? Or another holding, another this, another that. Typically, when you're talking about Trent Williams, it's because he's kicking somebody's ass or he's kicking somebody's ass. It just depends on how he's kicking somebody's ass.
Right.
Michael Parsons.
That Cowboys fan walking off the field,
I think our Super Bowl window is open as long as we have Brock Purdy.
I think the 49ers just told you that too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if they didn't believe in him, then wouldn't they have just retooled the whole thing? That's the thing that people really need to understand. This was not a complete they took everything out and but the kitchen sink and started the whole damn thing over again. They turned over the roster with guys that probably might not have made the roster this year anyways. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or guys that were not going to make the roster for the amount of money that they were going to make somewhere else. So they had to start looking, and they were starting this, I think, a little bit last year. The Ricky Pearsall thing really set some things behind too. But they kind of knew, right? That's why Cowing and Pearsall got drafted last year. Like they knew that
Mhm.
Debo might be out the door. They knew that Brandon Ayuk might be traded. They also knew that there was a possibility that they could get outbid on Jawan Jennings. And if he doesn't get some sort of contract extension pretty soon, he's going to be on some teams' lists, right? So, they got the free agents they needed to fill the spots that they needed for competition, right? Demarcus Robinson's going to be suspended for a few games, but he'll have a big game for the 49ers at some point this year. Like, that's just how it works. Like, we know that's
Yeah.
how that goes.
Mhm.
So Chris Conley had a couple of big games, right? Or in big catches in scenarios. Like, what the hell is Chris Conley doing making
Key
catches
moments,
this
yeah.
seriously, right? Like, here he is. So Demarcus Robinson's eventually going to have a big one for us. So I'm excited to see this team like kind of take their lumps and also not have to deal with a insane schedule next year. Like they're not going to have
Oh,
to go all over the place and back and forth and 3 days rest, 4 days rest, and 2 days rest. It's you know Sunday at 1, Sunday at 1, Sunday at 1, Sunday at 1. A lot of Sunday at 1. Oh, Monday, Sunday, Sunday at 1. Okay. Sign
What
me up
time
for
on
that,
Sundays?
right?
what
Sundays
time?
at 1. Pacific or Eastern. It depends on which day, but like you're going to make use of your YouTube TV this year with your NFL Sunday ticket this
Yep.
year if you sign
Yep.
up for that sort of thing. Like there are some
Yeah.
years like it doesn't make any sense, right? Because they're on
Yeah.
national television like for at least 4 games. It's like it's going to be like 10 games. Like what am I doing paying for this? So
So
and I'm
Yeah.
going to be at the
Steve-O-
other ones, right?
Yeah. So Steve-O says hashtag take 6. Well, that's better than Quest for 6.
So much better than Quest for 6.
Yeah.
Ty, what are your thoughts
Hey.
on Quest for 6? Uh-oh. Did
I
we
thought
lose
he
Ty?
froze. I
You
think he's
lose
had
him?
enough of it. I think he's telling you how he feels about it right now. He's had it.
All right.
He's done. He's cooked with it. He's wrapped up.
All right. So this is a good question from Steve-O. Who deserves a ring
It's
more?
old and
Trent?
outdated. We needed to get something new.
Yes,
So
I agree.
I'm down with take 6.
So Steve-O wants to know who deserves a ring more, Trent,
having issues.
Warner, or Kittle? You
Choose.
have to pick one.
Trent.
Yeah.
Honestly, just so I can let Jess say Kittle. It's fine. You're welcome.
I'm going with my guy George Kittle.
I knew you would. And Fred will go with Fred Warner, and Ty will go with Fred Warner. And
Dina,
we've
who are you
lost
going
Ty.
with?
I'm going with Trent.
Okay.
It's long overdue.
I mean, he survived being in Washington, so like he should at least get a ring with us for that, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? If I had to choose, like, I chose George Kittle, but Trent would be my next choice. The Under the Helmet podcast, do you guys have faith Tig will prove the haters wrong in year 3? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think it was a down year all across the board last year.
Mhm.
You know, a lot of people are, oh, I don't like the safeties, when is Malik Mustafa going to come back, because of what happened with his knee. But I have faith that this schedule is like the perfect opportunity for this team to bounce back.
Yes. Yes.
What do you guys think?
No, that's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. A chance to bounce back. Especially after last year. Definite chance to bounce back. Because we need it. And face it, that would last. But we got a good chance. I like the schedule. Everyone at my job was teasing me about, oh, you guys got an easy schedule. And like, yeah, and
Sometimes it works out like that.
I don't make that decision, but I think it's a chance for us to rebound look good, show who we are, show what we're about, and take 6.
Do we have you back, Ty? Kinda, sort of. Nope. All right. So moving on to special teams. The Niners signed kicker Greg Joseph on a 1-year deal, competition for Jake Moody. He holds the NFL record for most game-winning field goals in a season. But hopefully this year we won't have to rely on a field goal, and we can rely on scoring touchdowns.
Yes, please.
What about a kicker that can make extra points though? Hear me out. Okay.
Go ahead.
That's what I want. Just a kicker that can make extra points, right? I'm not saying he has to miss every field goal. I'd like him to make his field goals as well. But like if he makes his extra points, then a lot of times you don't need any sort of ridiculous field goals.
Exactly.
Also, if he's making his extra points, that means we're scoring touchdowns.
Exactly. No, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Making all kicks are important.
Like there's no other reason for you to be here. If you can't make first off, if you can't make the extra point automatically, I don't care if it's from the 30 or not. Like you got to be like 99% on those.
Yeah.
Like you have to. Like there's no choice. If not, get out of the league.
Yeah.
So because somebody else can.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You good,
Talk
Ty?
about my boy Jake Money.
Yeah, we're just.
Yeah.
I just said that.
We're talking kickers in general.
Yeah, I just said that the Niners signed kicker Greg Joseph.
Oh yeah.
So we were just discussing that.
Yeah. I'm glad.
Yeah, they said they was going to bring in competition, and then they are. So true to their word.
I'm amazed that Jake is still there.
Well, the 49ers aren't overreactive like fans are.
Well, I know that.
That's why.
Yeah,
That's
I know
why.
that, but I just think that, I would have helped him back. But
Tell us how
Well-
you really feel.
Well, you got to understand.
You
if
don't wanna
Brock
know.
Purdy, if Brock Purdy injured his shoulder, and they told him to go out and play, and he played down because he was playing on an injured shoulder,
mhm.
they wouldn't help him pack.
No.
Fred Warner,
I
as
would.
great as he wasn't the Fred Warner that we truly know because he was playing on a cracked ankle. They didn't help him pack. Young Brock Purdy was kicking on a hurt ankle. You don't help him pack.
But I would. But I'm
Nope.
just glad he has competition now.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Competition's healthy. It's good.
it is.
Who has more pressure this year, Brock Purdy or Jake Moody?
Well, I mean,
Moody.
Jake Moody would be unemployed if he doesn't make it happen. Like Brock Purdy is just going to get carried over to the next year. So I would
Yeah,
say
exactly.
Jake Moody
Yeah,
at this
yeah,
point.
yeah. No, it's Brock.
And last one before we get out of here, what do you guys think of the tush push is still going to be around at least for another year?
It's going to be around until someone gets hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be around until that head or neck injury, unfortunately, knock on wood, hopefully it doesn't. But
I hope not either.
when you got guys lining up and their heads are down and they're just looking at each other, exposing all of this, which
Yeah.
the NFL says, don't do, we want to
Mhm.
protect you.
Yeah.
Something, your body, your head is not meant to be smashed in like this. And you got 300-pound men doing that to each other.
Right. And especially to the back of your neck. That's
Exactly. There's a picture of Jalen Hurts playing against somebody where he's getting hit directly in
In
his
the-
head and neck,
Mhm.
and it's like,
Yeah.
ugh, that could have went real bad.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's one of those things where it's unfortunate that it's going to take an injury, and then they're going to be like, we should vote on this next week.
Let's take a vote.
Yeah, we should rethink this.
Let's form a conference. Let's have a conference on the tush push.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Let's meet and talk about this.
All right,
Anyway,
so
our quarterback doesn't need help, though.
No.
He gets his on his own. He could pick up a half yard on his own because he's built different. Who?
True. True.
it's very true. All right,
I
so
like
OTAs, May 27th and 28th. That's next week already. And the 30th, June 2nd, 3rd, and the 5th. And then mandatory minicamp, June 10th and the 11th. And then they break for a long break,
Their 40
40
day break.
days until July. And then training camp rolls around. All right, so
Ooh.
Ty, can you do the 2-minute warning or I got to do it?
You got to do it. I'm on
Okay.
my iPad. I have no controls.
All right. All right. So we're going to go to that hurry up offense and the 2-minute warning. Go ahead, Maddie.
Get your tickets now. Opening week is spoken for, but the other tickets are available. 9rswo.com. Go get your tickets and then eat the food.
Yeah, Dina, your closing thoughts.
I'm ready for this season. I'm ready to see some football, and I'm ready to travel, hopefully travel to some games, see different sites, and enjoy 49er football and rep all my jerseys and all my hats and just have a damn good time watching my Niners win. It's
Ty?
well deserved.
Indeed. Dino, welcome. Great to have you on. I think I still owe you a cheeseburger from a stream a year or two ago, but I got you. I didn't forget. See, I didn't forget. I got you. I'm like a Lannister. I always repay my debts too. But yeah, man. As we discussed this a while back, I said the 49ers are having an awesome offseason. It's just continuing. You see, they're taking this very seriously. Last year was a fluke.
Yeah.
We're going to be back to 49er football this year, so everybody just be excited.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. You guys are awesome as always. Dina, welcome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Great to have
Thank
you. Again, we're sponsored by Faithful Gear. Get your customized Niners gear at faithfulgear209.com. Yeah, you know what? Looking forward to the season. This is the perfect time to get back on track, like I said earlier. And on that note, hold on. Let me get to my outro.
See,
On that
it's not
note,
just me. It's
I
not
know.
just me.
It's like, I don't know. It's got to be more organized. All right. On that note, we'll see you next week. Go Niners.
See ya.
And of course, for the upstart 49ers, they're 6 yards away from Pontiac. 3rd and 3.
We'll see a pickup sometime on the right side.